Hello, welcome to PokéBoys. We're here, season 3, looking a little different. We'll get into that, but we're excited to be here. I'm joined by my trusty, aggressively mediocre producer, Dad, and one of my favorite streamers out there, Kumino,
Whoop.
member of the Showboys stream team,
Yes, sir.
elite Pokemon community game streamer, elite. I don't know what wrestling game you play, but wrestling streamer. I mean, dude, I s- I I
I,
don't know
I dabble
the
in some
wrestling
areas like
game
that.
that you stream because I don't play the wrestling games, but I love watching you and your friend like shoutcast the cards and stuff. It's so you guys do a good job. It's so awesome.
Well,
Um,
thank you. We try.
yeah, Kumino's here, and we'll just gonna address the elephant in the room right now. It's Pokeboys, and the other Pokeboy is not here. So,
Right. It's
um,
Pokeboy and two guests.
yes. So Jared and I had been teasing a big announcement for season 3. This is not that announcement. That big announcement will come later. But the announcement we do have is Jared's not going to be with us for season 3. Don't worry, he's alive and well. The Pokeboys are alive and well. But to directly quote Jared himself, life do be lifin'. So um, yeah, he has a ton of stuff going on right now, and needed to take some time, which dude deserves some time. So he's going to be sitting out season 3. That's why I'm joined by these lovely people, and we got a great season planned. I'm super excited. But Jared will be back hopefully for season 4. But yeah, that's why he's not here, and Dad and Kumino are. But with that out of the way, you guys that are familiar with Showboys would know Dad. He's been on a lot of episodes and we talk about him all the time. He's usually behind the screen producing. He'll come on and help host uh, very frequently. Um, but yeah, Kumino, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself? I kind of gave you a little introduction, but yeah, let the people know what you're doing on Twitch and all that, and maybe a little background of your Pokemon experience.
Well, how's it going, everybody? Of course, I'm the Don of the cartel, as it says on the tag. I came around one time before, but things have changed since then. I stream a whole bunch of different games, RPGs, uh, Pokemon, wrestling. My Pokemon experience, I've played every main series Pokemon game there is. Some of the spin-offs. So I consider myself very knowledgeable. I have people trying to recruit me to be a professional battler. I don't want to do it. I don't like being competitive. I like strictly having fun. So
Right.
in
I
which
keep a
Mike
very
can
cool.
attest that.
Yeah, I'm peeping a very cool little Pokemon poster above your left shoulder over there, I think. Looks
Yeah,
that,
yeah, that's Generation 2 Johto, the Johto decks.
my man, my favorite gen. Um, yeah, super glad. And if you're a member of the Showboys Discord and engage in the Pokeboys chat down in those channels, you'll recognize Kumino's name. He's been playing along with seasons 1 and 2. But yeah, Dad. So for those that aren't familiar with Showboys that are just here for the Pokeboys content, why don't you introduce yourself and let them know your experience with Pokemon?
So I'm Dad, which they've titled me as because I guess it's because I have like 45 kids. Not really sure if that's it. I just kind of
There
got
could be more out there. We don't know.
the final number is I don't like to talk about it. So yeah, I've been a part of Showboys for man a few years now, or a couple years now. Doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and then recently kind of been for who knows why, showing my face on camera. Doing a lot of, art stuff, music stuff for Showboys. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it with that. And as far as Pokemon goes,
that's pretty much it with that.
That's pretty much it with that. Yeah. Mike tried to get me into playing Pokemon Fire Red, and I got to the caves and quit.
Unbelievable.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I was going to tell you earlier.
Okay.
Playing this game has kind of like sparked something in my heart.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I mean, this is a fan-made game, right? But
it is.
There's just something about it, something special about this game. I can't quite put my finger on it. But I understand why Pokemon is one of the best selling franchises out there. If not the best. I think I read somewhere that it is the best.
The highest grossing like pop culture media.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Culture. And I can see why. I mean, well, and then with the fan-made games, or with this one in particular, you see the heart into it. Like, you can see the love of that creator taking something that's already been established and putting their spin on it. But it translates so well. Yeah, dude. Very new.
Start seeing Dad playing more Pokemon games.
That's right.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Well, he's forced to at least play this one
right
to the end. So we got to
see. That's how you have to do it with me. You have to strong arm me into something, or I'm probably not gonna do it.
Yeah. So before we get in, veteran PokéBoy listeners, you probably know the difference, but maybe a new listener out there, someone who isn't familiar with the world of fan games and ROM hacks, just wanted to kind of clearly define the two, because there are differences. So ROM hacks are just that, where somebody goes in and modifies a ROM of a game. For example, season 2, we played through Pokemon Row, which is a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald. They just took that existing ROM, went in and modified it. The world of fan games, these games are, I don't want to say built from scratch, because they utilize Pokemon assets, but these games are built from quote unquote scratch in things like RPG Maker, Pokemon Studios, or other fan-made, independently created like game engines designed for these type of games. And these fan games, they kind of exist as their own game files. You just download them and usually install them, whereas like a ROM hack, you would need to play through some sort of emulator or whatever. I tend to lean more towards the fan game camp over ROM hacks, because like Jeff kind of alluded to already, you get a little more creativity, sometimes a little more polish, or they're able to try and push the boundaries a little more because they're working in something they're kind of creating from scratch. But with that said, season 3, we're covering Pokemon Bushido, which is I want to say 2-year-old Pokemon fan game. It's on a lot of lists. If you Google like top Pokemon fan games, best narrative Pokemon fan games, this one makes like 8 out of 10 lists. And it's one that I've been wanting to play for probably like 2 years. So maybe when I first heard of it. And what I've been telling Jared is as soon as we started talking about like kicking around the idea of creating Pokemon content, I was like, okay, if we're going to do that, I'm saving Bushido. We're going to go through it for whatever we do. So that's how we ended up where we are today. With that said, here is a quick synopsis of Pokemon Bushido. We'll get into it, kind of explain a little bit of the background, and then just dive right into the first leg here, which is Chapter 1, Honor Lessons. But long ago in the feudal era of the Pokemon universe, there was a time before the existence of trainers. Instead, Kenshi roamed the regions, training both their Pokemon and their swordsmanship. Among the Kenshi, the prospect of honor and respect were of utmost importance. The codes that taught these virtues to the people were known as the codes of Bushido. So here we are in the land of Aisho, is what I'm going to call it. And it apparently has survived due to the clans that protect its citizens. And when young children come of age, they're sorted into a clan in accordance with their family and compatibility with specific Pokemon typings. And there are 3 major clans, and then there are several lesser clans. And as you may have guessed, all the clans are, of course, sorted by Pokemon types. So your 3 main clans, you have the Komori clan, which is grass type, the Nensho clan, which is fire, and the Shimizu clan, which is water. And the most important Kenshi in the region is Ryu Masayoshi. And he kind of has the final authority over all the clans because he is the royal samurai. And something that you don't ever get in any Pokemon game, your father. You actually have
Right.
that.
That was such a breath of fresh air. Like anytime they do adding a father in there and he's actually part of the main story, I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
We need more father representation in these games.
that's right. Why do you think these protagonists are such terrible kids? They have no father.
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to shout out Venom because, of course, from the Showboys Discord, avid listener and follower of PokéBoys. Thank you for your support all the time, dude. But yeah, one of the first things he said, he's like, not only a father in the game, but the father, because you are the child of the royal samurai.
Probably the most important person in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Outside of the Shogun, in which I believe he's more important. Like the Shogun rules the region, but like he's right underneath him in terms of power and authority. So like
Yeah.
It's quite a
just
title,
seeing
man.
that. Yeah.
So
Just seeing that is so great.
before we get into the nitty gritty of chapter 1, like just off of the introduction, Kumino, like how are you feeling after you fired this up, read through that introduction? Like what's going through your mind?
Well, firstly, I gotta say, I enjoyed the fact that it actually showed you the controls, being that it's strictly mouse and keyboard.
Yes.
I love that. Don't have to go and try to map it out and figure it out yourself. They have it up there on the screen. Love that.
So helpful.
And the way that they explain the Aisho region, it instantly drew me in because I love ninja and samurai stuff.
Mhm.
So like just reading the context of the backstory of how the region remained to be so strong in its culture and everything, I instantly fell in love. I can't lie. Like I was like, ooh.
Yeah. So, Dad, having absolutely no Pokemon experience, how did this go for you? Like, did you get excited learning like the premise of the game, or?
I mean, I wasn't like losing my mind over it, but I can appreciate the time that they put into creating a story.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of skimmed through it a little bit, to be honest. But I do like the fact that it's feudal Japan, yes, basically, kind of the theme.
Mhm.
I love samurai. I mean, that's pretty rad. I don't know, just it was cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, and you kind of get an idea of that while playing through this first leg. So
Yeah, I think
I'm
it'll
excited.
be. It's going to be very interesting. I like the dynamic that we have between the 3 of us because me and Kumino have been playing Pokemon games forever. And you have played like 15 minutes of a Pokemon game. So it's going to be
If
really interesting seeing your perspective of Bushido as someone who, like, this essentially is your first, like, this is your introduction to Pokemon, which sucks for the main series because a lot of these fan games, if you continue down this journey, Jeff, you'll see that a lot of these fan games are like leaps and bounds, like exponentially better than the main series. So it's kind of awesome that this is your starting point, but also it kind of sucks that this is your starting point because you'll go back, especially if you try some of the more recent main series games. You'll go in and be like, what is this garbage? Like, I just played a game that some fan made and it's like 100 times better than this.
Right. You were so captivated by what they did. You go and play Scarlet and Violet, you're gonna be like,
I paid $60 for this.
Right, you like the dog. I definitely care about the dog, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I think if I were to pick my next like official Pokemon game, it would have to be Arceus.
That's a good one. That's actually a good way to go.
That's
if you
a very
want to go
good
main
one.
series. Yeah.
Just I mean, based off of what I heard and the way it looks, I'd probably roll with that one.
You would have to play. My suggestion would be literally any game that is not on the Switch except for Arceus. Arceus is 100% acceptable. Other than that, just like go play any other generation prior to the Switch.
So I do take that back. I did play Pokemon Unite for a minute. I know it's not
very fun.
It's not the same.
Love it.
That was really fun.
Love that game.
It was because you actually controlled the Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Pokemon League of Legends. Two of my favorite things.
That was a fun time. Very frustrating, but very fun.
Yes, indeed. So the original plan was we were going to try to get Chad from Showboys to be a part of this too. Because if you're familiar with Showboys at all, you'll like, he's like the biggest weeb ever. And this is like his favorite era of Japanese like culture. And he said recently on, like, I don't know, it was a handful of episodes ago, where he's like, yeah, I kind of want to get into Pokemon. And I'm like, I have the perfect game for you. But we couldn't get, we all had trouble. Well, I shouldn't say we all had, Jeff, myself, and Chad, we all have Steam Decks, and Jeff and I had trouble getting Bushido to run on the Steam Deck. We both got a fatal error in the game file. And for some reason, I don't know how this is possible, but Chad does not have a functioning computer in 2023 that he could play this game on. So I hope, Chad, if you're listening, maybe you should just listen to like live vicariously through this. But if you happen to, get this running on a computer somehow, like, I would love to know your thoughts, because I feel like this is right up your alley. 100%. But yeah, starters, the most important thing in any Pokemon game, we have Oshawott, Fennekin, and Treecko. And Kumino and I decided to be gentlemen, and we were like, Jeff, you're the newcomer, you have first choice. And then I just took what was left over. So we each started with a different starter. Jeff, who did you pick as your starter?
I picked Fennekin.
Nice. And I called you the basic white girl of Pokemon, because you started with the fire type.
Fire, the pumpkin spice of the Pokemon world.
Okay, all right. You're gonna give me 3 options. Okay, you're gonna give me grass,
right? Yeah.
Fire or water. Come on. Someone that doesn't know Pokemon.
It's always grass. Easy.
No, it's always fire.
Well, see, this is definitely how you can tell what a person is like based off of their starter choice. Mm-hmm. Just that alone.
Yeah.
So we could tell that he was that kid that used to go and set stuff on fire.
Yes.
Dude, I still do that.
I will
love
say,
fire.
the thumbnail that we used for this episode, I put all of the shiny versions of the Pokemon, and I never knew how absolutely sick Fennekin's shiny is. And like,
Now I gotta look.
I saw that and I was like, oh man, I hope no one picks Fennekin because I kind of want to play Fennekin just in case. I wasn't gonna be a psycho and like reset until I got a shiny, but you never know. So yeah, Jeff, you picked Fennekin. Kumino, who'd you end up with?
I end up picking the best boy, Trico, because out of the Hoenn starters, all three of them are amazing, but he's the one who got a mega evolution with a Christmas tree on his tail that is used as a rocket.
What?
You get no better than that. You get no better than that.
That's pretty sick.
Indeed it is.
Yeah. Oh man. So that was your thought process. I wonder if Mega. I don't know if Megas are in this. That'd be pretty rad if Megas were in this.
I believe I read that Megas are in the game.
Oh, sick. Dude, that's gonna be cool. Yeah, so then I was left with Oshawott, which the only time I've ever used Oshawott, I take that back. I've used him twice. One was in Arceus, which doesn't count because it's he was what, Dark Water, and that he had a new dual type.
Yeah, it became Water Dart in Arceus.
And then I used Samurott in this gym of mine, which was another great fan game. Actually, I don't know if that one's a ROM hacker fan game. Either way, it was an amazing game. I streamed that. It was super fun. Go watch that on Showboys Gaming. So I was kind of happy with getting Oshawott. That probably would have been my second option if I didn't get Fennekin. But yeah, so we have our starters selected. And now we're into the game. So a cool thing that the Bushido does, it doesn't follow the traditional, at least to this point. I don't know. We've only played through chapter 1. But it's segmented in chapters instead of gym badges. I don't know if there are gyms in this game. It might be strictly a narrative experience that involves Pokemon instead of your traditional like 8 gym badge run, then trying to fight the Elite Four and the champion, and then while you're doing that as a 10-year-old, you're also saving the world from the new like evil mega corporation that's somehow trying to bring upon us the apocalypse.
Totally legit.
Kind of a breath of fresh air. We are still a young child trying to prevent some evil team, but we don't have to shoehorn in the, oh yeah, by the way, while you're trying to prevent the world from ending, you should probably go get all these gym badges.
Exactly. Like that has always been crazy to me. Like, you're 10. Okay, fine. You go around your country collecting badges while at the same time saving the world as if there's no police officers. The other gym leaders, like, they just oblivious to everything that's going on, and
yeah,
the champion of the region just doesn't care. It makes you miss Lance, just murdering people with his Dragonite.
Right, Jeff? I mean, isn't that what you think?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. My thought is like exactly what you said. You have these gym leaders, like the best of the best of the best, not doing anything but relying on this kid.
Yeah.
You got this, kid. Go on.
The whole premise of the way society works in Pokemon has always blown my mind. Like, so you're telling me as soon as you turn 10, your parents are just like, all right, have fun traveling the world all by yourself. Hope you don't die.
Wait. See, that's the other thing. It ain't even your parents. It's just your mother.
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea where your father at.
Yeah, probably because he died when he went out.
Where your dad is a gym leader.
That's
so
true.
I guess give Norman his props.
Yeah. This game, reverse psychology, you don't have a mother.
This is true.
Yeah, because you know your dad is Ryu here, or Ryu. I don't know.
Wait, actually, no, we do have them all.
We do?
Yeah, so okay. when are we gonna start explaining our actual playthrough? Because like I don't
Right
want to
now. Right now.
right now.
Yeah. Let's
Okay,
go.
well, okay. The house right before you leave the village,
Mhm.
that's your house. Your
Yeah.
mother is in there.
Yeah.
I thought that was our aunt.
No,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Well, look at
that's your
this.
mom.
The one time we have like well, not the one time because we just discussed, our dad was a gym leader before, but we have the nuclear family. It's awesome.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole family.
They're all
But yeah,
there.
so well, let's get right into chapter 1 then. So we start off, we're in like a school
Dojo.
dojo. There you go. That's the word that I couldn't think of. And our sensei is teaching us with our friend and apparent rival, Akane. And he's kind of like quizzing us or whatever. And then, we come in as he's asking Akane, like one of the last questions or whatever. I think he asks you a question or two, and then bam, you're thrust into a battle, your final training battle with some just training Pokemon against Akane. And first thing I want to note is Akane says that she hates bugs, and therefore I don't ever want to do anything with Akane. Like,
Right. That's messed up. Like you are the bug chairman.
yeah,
Like she was so disrespectful to you.
right? What did they ever do except be awesome? I guess apparently you don't like awesome Pokemon.
And crawl all over you.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I mean, like maybe she's fearful of that 3'5" giant bee with, knives. I mean, not knives, but daggers for fist.
yeah, that would be
That
pretty
sounds
gnarly.
terrifying.
And like Venipede, and that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we get in. We do learn a few things though here. We learn that the katanas of Bushido are the legendary trio Cobalion, Virizion, and Terrakion. I don't know if I said that right. Never actually had to say those names out loud. But that's kind of cool. I've never utilized any of these legendaries, so hopefully at some point they will come into play. But yeah, our battle here, we're given a team of Mindfu, Goldeen, and Tailo, and we're fighting a Rockruff, Slugma, and Farfetch'd. What did you guys think of just the intro to this battle, the animation and the music? So cool.
Wow. Okay. So I was amazed that they had a different way of going about it. Being this is your teacher, they're training you, they want to quiz you to make sure you're knowledgeable and make sure you're actually strong enough. So
Yeah.
when the music hit, like it made me feel like this is truly an important battle that I have to win, even though you don't have to win the battle. I mean, of course, I would hope that all three of us won this fight, but
Yes.
like you don't have to win it, but it makes you feel that way. And the fact that you get the boost if you get it right, and you get the
Oh, so cool.
stat reduction if you get it wrong, it was perfect icing on the cake. It instantly reminded me of Opal in Sword and Shield.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the quizzing mid battle. So cool. And then exactly like you said, the stat changes on top of that depending on your answer. Super, super cool. And the stat change thing is something that kind of plays out throughout the rest of the chapter and probably, I'm assuming, the rest of the game. Randomly, trainers that I battled were just like some catchphrase, and then my special defense rose, and I'm like, oh, dang it, that's crazy, but also super cool. But yeah, Jeff, what do you think of just like how the trainer card like flashes up on the screen and the music got like
I thought that was pretty cool. I kind of felt the same as far as like this is important. It's kind of a big deal. I was gonna say something else, but I totally forget. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I was all about it.
Did you get any of the questions right?
Okay, so this is what I was gonna say. So I originally downloaded this on my computer to play because I couldn't get it to work on the Steam Deck or on my phone. So my first run through with that, I was really trying to pay attention and like absorb, everything that was going on because I knew it mattered. It meant something. I didn't realize that things were happening with the questions or the answers I was giving, like as far as the stats and whatnot. I think I got most of them right. But then today I got it to, I installed it and downloaded it on my phone and it works. So I just played it over with, the same stuff, but on my phone. And I just skipped through all the questions, not really paying attention. I'm like, oh, this is probably going to suck, but here we go. So yeah, I ended up finishing chapter 1 on my phone, but I was actually thinking about doing both. Like, there were
you want side by side playthroughs?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, now I'm going to pay attention to try to pay closer attention to what's happening during battle. Because this is a game where you have to think. I mean, you have to pay attention to what your enemy type is. You have to pay attention to what they're doing to you, what they're doing to themselves. It's just very tactful.
How was your first battle experience? Like, do you know much about the different typings and the weaknesses and resistances or anything like that? Or like, how blind are you going into this?
I know a fraction of what I probably should know at this point. First battle was fine. Luckily, I mowed through all her Pokemon. It's probably just beginner's luck. But as I continued to play, I paid more attention to, okay, so this enemy is not reacting well to what I'm doing to it. So I'm going to try something else or switch out a Pokemon for something else. And I was going to ask you guys if it was cheating if I looked up the Pokemon I was fighting to see what their type was. And then to kind of have like a cheat sheet of like, all right, so that's a bug type. What's the best of my team to fight it?
No, that wouldn't be cheating.
Considering there's like a bajillion different Pokemon and you've never played, I don't think that would be cheating because like early
so
on,
many big Pokemon YouTubers and streamers, they have that information up all the time because, like Mike said, like it's over 1,000 Pokemon now.
There's so many,
and like that's not even exaggeration.
Right, we have what is 18 types?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 18 types and a whole bunch of different combination with these typings, and then you got to account for abilities and all this other stuff. By all means, look to your heart's content, man.
It's like all of those like gifs of people like doing calculus and trigonometry in their brain with all the like formulas and stuff. Like that's sometimes how trying to like figure out what the Pokemon you're fighting's weakness is, because it's like it's dual typed, but like one of its types covers the weakness of the other type. So therefore, instead of being super effective, you're actually like nullified. And it's, it gets sometimes I even have to look stuff up where I'm like, no, wait a second, what is actually super effective against Gastrodon? I that one, I mean, grass obviously, but I'm always like, is there anything else? Nothing makes sense anymore. My brain is broken. So that's not cheating, bro.
He breaks out a calculator and he has to figure out whether a stab move of the same type does more damage than a move that would be super effective against that Pokemon, but it isn't coming from a Pokemon of that typing.
Yeah.
And like just watching him, I'd be like, I couldn't even begin to do that math.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into battling. It's crazy. And like, I have never gone down the competitive road at all. Like when it comes to Pokemon, I enjoy collecting, catching, like that aspect of Pokemon. Which has made PokéBoys really fun, where we have our end of the season battle between Jared and I, which we're still going to do in some fashion for this. But yeah, so like Kumino says stab, and then you bring in like physical and special split. That stuff has all been foreign to me until like a couple weeks ago when a few of us in the PokéBoys Discord got into Poke MMO, and then Venom again is talking about IVs and stab and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden I find myself like spending 3 hours just trying to catch a Snubble with some decent attack IVs and stuff. So yeah, so even myself, Jeff, don't feel bad. As a Pokemon veteran, I am now just starting to dive into the weeds of the real nitty gritty of like the Pokemon stats and all that stuff. So yeah, please.
I mean, it's really cool how in depth they've gone, like all the detail that they took the time to figure out, like with all the typings and weaknesses and whatever. Yeah, it's cool. I dig it.
Indeed. So yeah, I love the trainer card flash up, and the music intensifies everything. And just the music outside of battle is also really good in this game.
Yeah, it really is.
So after we battle Sensei Sakuro, he's like, all right, cool. Let's go to Nagisa Bay. We need to go over a few more things out there. So we head over. We find out that a Cane starter is the fire type Darumaka, which I've never really been a fan of. I just think they're just super goofy looking.
Yeah, but they're super strong.
I know. That's what Jared always says. Yeah.
My God, they beast.
And then, of course, what is it? Galarian gets the ice, switches over to ice type.
Is it in its Zen mode, it switches to ice fire.
Oh, dude. Ice fire. You kidding? That's crazy. There needs to be more ice fire types because
it really do. Interesting. It really do.
So we go to Nagisa Bay. This is where we actually choose our starting Pokemon, by the way. So like we all discussed, I chose Oshawott. Though I was really wanting to be the basic white girl and pick Fennekin, but Dad ended up doing that instead. And then, of course, Kumino went with Treecko. I don't know if you guys are naming your Pokemon. So to stick with the past seasons, I'm nicknaming my Pokemon. And this time, before I started, I was like, every season I've thought of coming up with a naming convention and then forgot until like 2 episodes in, and then by then I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna name them whatever. This time I was like, okay, to honor Chad and to kind of stick with the theme of Bushido, I was like, I'm gonna name all my Pokemon after characters from Ghosts of Tsushima. However, I've never played that game, so I'm just essentially picking names that I think are cool that look good with the Pokemon I'm naming. So I'm not like trying to match up characters with personality types of Pokemon or anything like that. But Chad, for you, all my Pokemon are going to be named after Ghost of Tsushima characters. With that said, I named Oshawott Ghost Jin after the main character. I just had to name my starter after the main character. What are you using, Kumino? Anything, or just you're just gonna name them whatever comes to mind?
Well, okay, so because the game is named Bushido,
yes,
the thing that instantly came to my mind was One Piece, and they just left the Wano arc in the anime. So everybody know that Zoro, the swordsman of the crew, everybody calls him Mr. Bushido and stuff of that nature. So,
Oh,
being that Trico is green like Zoro's hair, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with a One Piece naming scheme, and I named Trico Zoro.
nice.
Very cool.
Makes sense. What are you naming yours, Dad? I don't know
Yes.
why I couldn't say your name, but
Yes, I am. So I
Are-
kind of went the route you went
yeah.
as far as samurai games. Um, so for for some reason on my phone, the letter M does not exist. I don't know why. They must not like the letter M or didn't watch Sesame Street.
Forget you, M. You be disrespecting up in here.
Right. So my character's name is, well, I didn't have an M, so it's Ukani, who is the main character's name in Sekiro, which means
Yeah.
wolf.
Right.
But my starter's name is Sekiro.
Nice. I
To
thought
honor-
about
to
using
honor Chad as well.
Nice. I'm glad you decided to honor Chad. To anyone who's curious, he is actually alive. He has not died, but we're still deciding to honor him. Again, talking about me getting into the weeds, Jin has perfect HP and nearly perfect defense IVs, and his special defense is at 26, special attacks at 20. So it's not bad, not bad. I've seen worse.
Yeah, I didn't go that detailed into the notes. Like I didn't jot
What?
down they stats and stuff of that.
What,
nature.
Yeah,
what you
no,
said
I haven't
just
done it with
went
all of
over
them.
my head.
I
But
do
I do
appreciate.
know he has overgrow as an ability.
Nice. Dang, I didn't even check the ability. Oh, I think it's just the typical water. I think it's water torrent. Yeah, it's torrent, which powers up water moves in a pinch. Yeah, I wasn't a psycho and write down all my stats for every Pokemon I caught, just the ones that stuck out. And I do appreciate the fact that they show the IVs and stuff, which is pretty cool. So after getting the starter Pokemon, I just did some exploring because that's generally what I do. So I don't know if you guys did this, but if you go into the starting town village and go to the well and interact with it, you pull stuff out. And so I ended up pulling out like 3 Slowpoke tails, which are pretty cool. You can eventually sell those. And I think for like 15,000 like Pokebucks or something, it's a lot of money for a
1,500.
Slowpoke.
To
1,500.
sell it?
It's yeah, they were a lot.
Wow.
So I was like, man, I'm just gonna be rich. This is crazy. And then my 4th one, I got attacked viciously by a Slowpoke.
Yes.
Anyway, he said
And-
viciously. I'm assuming it beat you.
No, I caught
Okay.
it. But is this a Galarian Slowpoke with the yellow head? I haven't played Sword and Shield very much, so that's why I'm like asking all these Galarian form like question marks.
Yeah. Okay. So just the thing about the Galarian Slowpokes, the reason that they have the yellow on their head is because of curry. They have a strong curry-based diet.
Okay. Does
But
it play? Does it give them any sort of new typing, or is it just like an aesthetic thing?
When they evolve, they become psychic poison.
Oh, that's sick. Maybe I need to keep Slowpoke on the team then, because that's pretty rad.
Yeah. Slowbro is a physical attacker, and Slow King is a special attacker. So one has a club for a hand, and the other one has like a Mega Man blaster for a hand.
Oh wow,
that is really
that's
cool.
incredible.
I named him Khan from Ghost of Tsushima because he looks big and dopey. So I, of course, had to name my Slowpoke that. I caught a Picky Peck and named it. Of course, I don't care what naming convention I go with. Like I said in, I believe, season 1, every flying type will be named after a wing sauce. And I don't think I had Picky Peck in either of the previous 2 seasons, so I named this Sea Jerk for a Caribbean jerk. And I caught a Cherubi. I named Sakura after the cherry blossom. Japanese for cherry blossom. And I caught a Pichu, and I named it Kazumasa. And that was kind of my exploration there up until heading out into the first route. Kumino, what did you do after getting your starter? Anything?
Okay, so of course I explored the town like you did. Went to the well, I want to say I got like 2 slowpoke tails. Then I encountered the Galarian slowpoke, caught it, stuck with the One Piece theme. It's a guy on there in the beginning arc named Don Krieg. He uses poison in fighting, so I named mine's Krieg after him. Then I went to our house, got all of the goodies that the mom gave us, including the father's necklace. That is
yeah.
the
Yes,
XP
yes.
share.
Yes.
So that was lovely. Then my exploration into the first route, I saw some shaking grass, went into it, and got the only Pokemon that I'm not going to name after a One Piece character because it is my favorite. Well, he leads to my favorite, and that is Riolu. And I named it Pause.
Nice.
Like I named
Pause.
all of my
Classic.
Riolu and
Classic.
Lucarios.
Yeah.
Nice.
Classic Kumino.
Yeah. But I also caught let's see. Where are they at? Okay, Cherubi that I named Hiraluk. For anybody that watched One Piece, that is the doctor that raised the reindeer. Then I caught a Pancham. I named him Panda Man. I caught a Purloin that I named Nami. And I also caught a Cutie Fly that I named Leo.
Nice. What about you, Jeff?
So
Excuse
after I
me.
picked my starter, actually before I picked my starter, I saw this like little gold ball down below like 2 trees that I couldn't get to. So that really irritated me. I got my starter, and then I remembered from something else that I could go into water or go like do something with the water, ride on the Pokemon through the water, something like that. So I just went over and pressed a button, and it asked if I wanted to surf, basically. And I said, yeah, which was potentially very devastating because there's some very vicious looking sea monsters there. I don't remember their names. I just remember they were like in the 30s for levels. And I'm like, screw this. I'm running.
Wait, hold on. You could actually surf?
Wait,
Oh,
you
I
can?
didn't even try.
Right, we did not even
I didn't
try
even
because
try.
we're so used
Wow.
to being relegated to wait for like 5
Oh,
gyms
that's
before we can
so
surf.
cool.
See, at first when I saw it, I'm like, oh, maybe I come back for it. I could chop down the tree or something. Because, you have to do certain things before you can go to the next section, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I'll come back to it. But then this actually might have been on the phone when I'm like, oh, maybe I could try to surf or something. And I go over and I get it. It's like, I forget what it is. I'll look it up later.
I'm assuming you just walked up and pushed A?
Yeah.
And it just let you surf?
Yep.
No way. That's awesome.
Wow.
So then I went back around.
That's how trained our minds are, Kumino. We didn't even try.
Yeah, I was like, I'm surprised you guys. Yeah, surprised you guys didn't do that.
Yeah, that was the one thing we didn't try.
So that next road or path or whatever, just like a big looping circle, jumping off, ledges or whatever. And you can't go to the next section because your rival is there battling someone else. I did see the shaking grass, and I did catch whatever Pokemon that was. Yeah, on the computer, which I was pretty excited about because he looks dope. However, on the phone, I was trying to get him again, and I fought him, but there was something with like an ability that I did. It just took him out of the battle. Like he just disappeared. I'm like, I didn't even get a chance to like catch him. Like he's just gone.
Oh no!
I did not
see it.
I didn't encounter him again.
Now, our Pokemon do have different moves that they normally don't have in their respective games. So, would it have been a chance that your Fennekin possibly had confusion?
Possibly, yes.
Or roar.
Well, yeah, or roar.
Because
I can.
roar will like scare the Pokemon away if you're in battle
Well,
with
I've
someone, and it'll switch it out for another one. But if you do that in a wild encounter, it just makes the Pokemon run away,
Yeah.
which is
And if
maybe
you had
that's it.
tragic.
confusion,
I don't.
it's
I
weak to
don't.
psychic and it would have killed it.
I'm not sure what it was because my Fennekin has evolved and I have different abilities now.
Oh dang! It evolved already. Holy
Yep.
cow!
Well, 2 of them have evolved.
This guy
So
is a pro.
no.
Right.
So
He's
okay.
been grinding.
Well, unintentionally, I will say, because I did not see the entrance to the next part up at the top. So I was
To the
literally
shrine.
looping around, like kind of frustrated. Like, what am I supposed to do? I went back to the girl like a few times to see if she was done. Talk to her again. Maybe if I talked to her enough, she'd be done and leave. No,
That's
no.
hilarious.
So I ended up catching. I also caught a Pichu,
Nice, nice.
which I named. I named Bubby after. It's a nickname that I have for my youngest daughter.
Okay.
Well, Pichu's really cute, you know.
It is. It is. Your kid also pretty cute.
Yeah, yeah. And then I also caught a. Hold on. Where the panda dude.
Pancham.
Yep, Pancham.
Yes.
I named him Patrick, who is my son, my older son. But I will say, this little dude is freaking awesome.
Dude, Pancham's great.
Yeah,
He
Pancham
is so much fun to play.
Yeah.
And I think there was one more I caught who evolved, which was the Trumbeak, but I think it was something else before.
Oh,
that.
that's Picky Peck.
Yeah, Picky Peck, right?
Dude,
He turns into a toucan.
Toucanon.
Yeah.
Toucanon is pretty rad. Not
So
used one in my Ultra Sun playthrough.
I named that one. I don't know if it's from anything. It just had a cool Japanese samurai sounding name. Asakura.
Nice.
So I think that's all I picked up from that first section.
Nice. That's hilarious. I can't wait to learn what levels your Pokemon ended up at the end of this.
I'm trying to tell you.
You want me to tell you what they're at now?
No, we can hold off. We can hold off a minute.
All right.
But the fact that you brought up that battle, because we kind of skipped over that. Yeah, she does ambush you as soon as you try to leave the town.
Yes, that's right.
And
wipe the floor with
she started the battle using Swords Dance. But the way that they do it in the game is it's kind of like techniques of their family or their clan. For her, it was Hashimoto's might that allowed Daramaka to use Swords Dance and power up. So I thought that was neat. But I had my Slowpoke, and I trained up at the Slowpoke well to get some more Slowpoke tails.
Nice.
So we kind of just one shot her.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same. I had Oshawott, so it was like, yeah, right.
Right.
The
Yeah,
same.
you was good from the start.
Yeah, I do like as you were talking, and we kind of brought it up before during like the quiz thing, but a handful of the trainers that I battled in this leg, they do have I'll just call them like trainer abilities. So like something pre-battle that happens that boosts either their stats or something cool, like you just said with the sword stance, which again is a nice like little flavor that they added to this. That just it's nothing like mind blowing, but it's just a cool addition that just is like, oh yeah, why don't we just do that? Like, why is that not a
Who
thing?
says it can't be done?
Right. But yeah, before we I wanted to bring this up too, I guess, because we talked about the slowpoke tails and being able to sell them for money. When I sold them and was looking through the vendors, I love the detail that they went through just
yeah.
in the world building of their region. Like, they don't have Pokemon centers, they don't have Pokemarts, they don't have potions, they have healing gems, they don't have TMs, they have scrolls. Like,
That
they really went the full distance with creating everything to be unique and fit into Aisho, and not just like, oh, yeah, we're in feudal Japan, but they have these CDs that you put on your Pokemon's heads, and all of a sudden they learn how to do Fire Blast. And you know what I mean? They really tailored everything to exist within the time frame and like the culture and aesthetic of the region they created, which is super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
Like they did their research when they made this region, and I have to commend them for that. Like, if you guys do decide to go and try this game out, make sure that you go to their Patreon and just donate $1 or $2 just to show your appreciation. Do this for any fan made game that you do, because you got to remember they're doing this for free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just any appreciation is always welcome to these guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
So, like Dad alluded to, the next step after we battle a Kane, we're entering into the first route, which is actually another cool thing. They're not called like Route 1, Route 2, whatever. Shoot, what is the name of is it
Sakura Pass?
That's it. That's it. This guy, he's in my mind and I love it. So we go through Sakura Pass, and like Jeff said, you can continue to go straight, and that'll take you over to Hagane City. Or what you need to do is explore kind of north, and there's a little shrine. I went in there, again, because I just explore everything before going to the place I know I need to go. And I go into the shrine, and I'm like, I probably don't need to be here right now, but I'm just going to go in here, explore. I went up and interacted with the shrine, and I didn't expect anything to happen. However, something did happen. And wouldn't you know, a Celebi appeared, which is cool. Another mythical Pokemon here. Very important in like the grand scheme of Pokemon lore. Kumino, can you explain the importance of Celebi? Like, do you know the ins and outs of
That? I do. Celebi
I'm
being
so
right
glad
here
you
on
do,
the
'cause
poster. Wow.
I don't.
You know what? Can't even see it.
That
Like, he's
almost-
right out of the frame. But Celebi is the time traveling Pokemon and the guardian of the forest. A lot of people like to refer to him as an onion. But
look
like,
that.
I like it. I think it's cute. What Celebi's job is to go throughout time and different periods and provide assistance wherever it can. And I'm not sure, because they never clarify whether there's multiple Celebis or if it's just the same Celebi, but it's allowed to meet up with itself from different points in time. Because they will get together in a group if the problem is big enough. And in this particular case, this is our father's Celebi. So I'm assuming it came from the point in time, because it shows us a flashback of our father getting a mission from the Shogun to go to where was it? Yami Island, where the Akuai clan they're doing some strange stuff over there. So our father goes to investigate, and he ended up getting attacked. So Celebi shows us this and brings us his sword. But in the process of that, two guys, two Kenshi from the Akuai clan, they come and attack us to try to get Celebi.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is when we find out that they're making shadow Pokemon.
Mhm.
And that's what they want to capture Celebi for. But ultimately, we end up beating them, and they run off because they can't hold up to the might of exploring and trying to catch all of the different Pokemon that was in the area and being over leveled.
Yes. Yeah, great job kind of summarizing this whole thing. First off, Celebi and its lore is so cool, and it's great because you see it pop up in fan games like this as being a centerpiece to the narrative, but also in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. I believe that's the one. That series, um, you have Sceptile. Essentially, a Pokemon is running around stealing the time gears and making time freeze in the different regions of the game. And you end up interacting with a Celebi who helps you out again because it's shifting in and out of time. And it's just one of those Pokemon right up there with Arceus that's just like, I mean, Arceus is the literal god of Pokemon. And then you have
Right.
Celebi. So, like, slight side note tangent, like the next Legends game has to be, in my mind, like historic Johto, Legends Celebi. Like, let's just dive into it.
I think everybody is wanting Legends Keyrum, but I mean, I wouldn't be
I don't
opposed to
care what
either.
anyone wants. It needs to be Celebi. I'm sorry, that was off base.
Listen,
But
they can give me all of the region Legends games.
Yeah.
Legends games is just too good. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'll do a good job with any region.
No, Kumino, they did a fantastic job with Arceus. That means they're never going to revisit it. It's
Right,
they did the one thing that everyone loves, so they're like, all right, cool, we'll never do that again.
right. They have success with something. They say, okay, let's put that in the trash now. We want something else. We only want dumpster fires over here, guys.
Yeah. But to allude to what you talked about, shadow Pokemon. So the two trainers here, one had a shadow Puccina, and the other one had a shadow Nickit, and they both knew Shadow Blitz, which has to have been an electric attack because it obliterated Oshawott and Picky Peck.
Okay, so
But
I'm assuming you never played Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
have not.
Okay, so Shadow Pokemon, they're Pokemon that have their hearts locked to strengthen them, and
Okay.
they have an advantage over all types.
Oh.
Like they're not weak to anything, but they're strong against everything. So
Oh. So
when they
this
use
is
yeah,
a
their
a
shadow
borrowed mechanic.
yeah, so their shadow moves, any shadow move they do is going to be super effective to you, regardless of your typing.
Interesting. That's awesome. I didn't know. Yeah, I've never played. Weren't those like GameCube or like Nintendo 64 or something like that?
Coliseum, GameCube, and yeah, actually, Gale of Darkness is GameCube as well.
Yeah, never made it to those ones. But that's really cool. Yeah, so we dispatch these two trainers, and they're like, "Oh, well, I guess we don't want Celebi," and they just leave. And then, like Kumino said, Celebi gives us the ancient katana, our father's sword, and yeah, so we're like, okay, well, that was the thing. I guess we better get to Hagain City now. Um, I ran into a Farfetch'd in here, which made me really happy because I've never used one, and I was like, I really want to try to use one. And I ran out of Pokeballs trying to catch it, which made me really sad because, yeah, I ended up not going back and trying to catch one. But on my way out of the shrine, the Jakan shrine, by the way, to Hagain City, I ended up catching. Oh no, I didn't catch anything. So I just said I ran out of Pokeballs. I ran into a Flabebe, a Ralts, a Pancham, but came back later after purchasing Pokeballs. Hagain City, though, Well, I guess before we get into that, how was your experience in the shrine, Dad? Um, Again, like this being your first experience, like just your initial impressions of what was going on.
I liked the flashback. I thought that was pretty cool. I think a lot of it was just flying over my head. Yeah, I'm gonna rely on you guys to kind of explain some of this stuff to me.
Yeah.
So like with the time traveling Pokemon, didn't really click at first. The Celebi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you catch any Pokemon in the shrine or on your way to Hagain City after you found out that you had to go into the shrine?
Once I finally realized I went there and then quickly left, I believe it was on my way to the city that I caught my Eevee.
Oh, an Eevee.
I named Charlie after my middle daughter.
Nice.
Good thing you have so many kids because
I know.
there's a lot of Pokemon to nickname.
There's so many.
Right.
But yeah,
what
then
about
I
you,
actually
Kumino?
made it to the city, and that's actually something that I want to talk about because you talked about it before with like their attention to the detail of the place and time.
Mhm.
You go to like a spa to heal,
A bathhouse, yeah.
bathhouse. That was super cool.
Dude, it was really cool.
Never heard of that in a Pokemon game. It's always
it's an indoor hot spring.
yeah.
And that's what they say about the hot spring. The hot springs heal you of all your ailments and stuff of that nature. So that was very nice that they added that in there.
And then I quickly went next door to the food place.
Yeah.
I had the ramen noodles.
Yeah, those are all really cool because they they boost like friendship or something.
Yeah,
and
they boost
heal,
friendship.
which is that's mega clutch.
So you know what I did, right?
Yes, you spent all of your money boosting Riolu. Paul is very friendly with Kumino now.
Right. So I now have a Lucario.
Oh man, yeah. So Jeff, there are many different ways Pokemon can evolve. One of them, and probably the most annoying one to grind, is Pokemon that evolve via happiness, which makes these noodles so clutch. And as Kumino just said, Riolu evolves into Lucario via friendship. So if you did
only in the daytime though.
Oh,
so if you did catch a Riolu,
I did not.
go farm some Slowpoke tails and boost that happiness with some noodles.
I'm trying to tell you.
So
because what I did, like, okay, so when I left the shrine, I ended up catching I caught a couple of Pokemon. I got Scatterbug that I named Batman, Galarian Farfetch that I named Gonfall, Meditite that I named Moose. And then out on Sakura Path, I love the fact that they actually have Pokemon that just sit out around and you can walk up and interact with them and actually have a battle. That's how I got my picky pick that I named Southbird, and I got Scroll 42, which was Revenge.
Yes,
I haven't taught it to anybody, but I got it.
Same.
I also got an Eevee that I named Bon Clay. Any One Piece fans out there, we know we all salute Bon Clay. And then the Flabebe when I got in the city, and named that Robin. But I used that area to fight, level up, got Lucario, went back, got more slow, and just got all of the Roman because I'm like, yo, like this is the best stuff to have. Like I don't need them healing jams. Nah, I don't want none of them. I want the Roman.
Yes. Now I need to redeem myself and go find a Togepi somewhere. Yeah. So Jeff, what were you saying about the city though?
Just that it looks and sounds like feudal Japan, like from the architecture to the bathhouse and the food place. Yeah, they took a lot of time and put a lot of detail into it, which is nice.
Yeah. Did you guys find the Pokemart, which is just a house with like 3 dudes sitting in it selling stuff?
Yes.
It's actually 6 guys.
6.
Yeah. The others are on the back wall.
Oh
And
yeah, that's right.
yeah, I love that place too. I bought a bunch of quick balls.
Yes.
So I am strapped.
I guess I need to spend a lot of chapter 2 just getting Slowpoke tails.
Yeah,
I only got like the initial like 3 or 4. But yeah, I love also there's no PC. Well, I mean, this part's kind of weird that there's no PC. Instead, you store all of your Pokemon inside a Talonflame, which is kind of odd. But besides that, I think all of the other changes that they made to handle the theme have been excellent. So super, super cool. And another thing that is just like rubbing salt into the wound of like not being able to find a Riolu myself is in Hagane City, you can trade a Riolu for a Larvesta, which, you know me, you know I love a Volcarona. Come on. Give me that big old fire moth. I'll take it. But I can't take it because I can't find a Riolu because they only
Just
spawn
look
in
in
the
the
shaking
shaking grass.
brush. I know, but I couldn't get any to spawn.
Because I went back and I got a Riolu so I could trade to get the Larvesta.
Nice, dude. Your team's gonna be sweet.
So I have
all
a question.
The shaking bush that I found were Happies, which did not make me happy.
Right. I do not like the Walmart brand Gardevoir.
Yeah. What's up, Jeff?
So my team is full. Like I have my
You're
I've
6. You're 6. Yeah.
If I catch another Pokemon, am I able to switch them out?
Yep. When you catch it, it'll they explained it in the game as this. Usually when you catch it, just like somehow magically transports into your PC. But in the game, when you catch it and you don't have room on your belt, the Talonflame comes and picks up the Pokemon for you. You don't see any of that. But then you can just go to the Talonflame in the town or the city or whatever. And I think it's like your character's name storage. And then in there, you can organize your Pokemon.
Sweet.
And
yeah, I've not seen that yet. I mean, I've seen the Talonflame that I can somehow store stuff into it and then fast
got
travel.
A lot of compartments.
Essentially, right?
Yeah.
Which
is so cool. Anything you catch now that your team's full, you can access at the Talonflame.
Cool.
So I did again a lot of exploring. So I like went up Shizen Trail, caught a villain, named it Hannah, caught a Toxel, which I was super pumped about. I've been wanting to use a Toxel for a long time, named it Gyozin. And like I said, really excited. And also it has perfect HP and speed, which makes me very happy. And pretty decent special attack, special defense. I went up to Sakura Cave, which is north of Sakura Pass. And I caught a Tyrogue that I named Dogshin. And I really want Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee because why would anyone want a Hitmontop? So I don't know if I'm gonna try for that or not. I found a Rockruff though, which was cool, but I caught it and I actually wanted to name it Dogshin because it's a dog and Dogshin. I mean, come on. So I ended up catching a different Tyrogue and renaming it something else. But probably my favorite catch so far of this leg, it might be a tie between Toxel and Litleo because I've never used a Litleo. Caught a female Litleo and named it Nala. You know, got to represent Lion King.
Right.
So that's kind of what I did before going to the Shogun Tower, which was our next objective. We were supposed to meet. Was it Akane or the Sensei?
We're supposed to meet both of them.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So, Kumino, what did you do prior to going to the tower? Did you do some exploring and catching, or did you already cover all of that?
I did not go to any other route. I
Okay.
stayed with Sakura Path, grinding and stuff of that nature, to make sure that I got money because I bought quick balls, timer balls, and great balls, and the miso soup. Got plenty of that. But once I got to the tower, I just essentially went on with the story. So, Dad, what about you? Did you do any exploration outside of that?
I did a little bit. I went up to that cave
Mhm.
and thinking that that's where I was supposed to be. Traveled around in there a bit, but it was like pitch black.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't do well with caves in Pokemon. That's what made me stop playing Fire Red. And I could see the cave. But there are these rocks that were in
Yep.
my way. And I figured that at some point I would need something to break that.
You're onto something.
Because there was like a little bush or something when I went down, maybe before the tower, that I had to break to get through, and I did that. But anyway, I was trying to like bust these rocks with a katana, which wasn't very effective. It just said I couldn't use it. You can't use this here.
Yes.
Now he has to find the blacksmith to repair the katana.
Yep. Crap, I got to get to that city. So I, did a couple battles there. Then I got fed up with it and left because I couldn't find a different path. So I made my way to the tower, to the tournament.
Yeah. Can we just talk real quick about the katana? Like up to this point, I think we were just able to use it for cut. And we'll get into what happens at the end of chapter 1. But again, I just love not having to use HMs. So anything you can do. So Jeff, how this works in not so much the more current generations. I think they kind of just did away with cut essentially in Scarlet and Violet. And you have your mount to like surf and whatnot, but like up until probably the Switch, definitely very early on, like the early generations, those small trees, you had to have a specific move that you had to teach to one of your Pokemon to cut those down. Okay. And for the most part, all of the moves there were like cut, strength to push big boulders, surf to surf on water, fly to fast travel.
Then you had Rock Smash at one point was a HM.
Which is to break those rocks you were trying to cut with your katana.
Right. Waterfall to climb waterfalls.
Yep. Flash to light up dark caves. So all these were moves you had to teach to a Pokemon. The problem was, like, the majority of them suck in combat, like are actually literally useless. So it would just take up a move slot on one of your Pokemon. So what a lot of people did, they would carry around a team of 5 and then just one like sucky Pokemon, but it could learn all of the HMs that they needed it to learn. So they would do that. So anytime a game can break away from that and allow the character itself or just the Pokemon to do it without taking up a move slot, automatically gets like a million bonus points for me.
That's
so
awesome.
And the fact that they kind of like are tying the katana, which appears to be like a big story piece, into something that helps you like maneuver through the world through these HM needs is really, really cool. So we make it to the tower. Personally, I'm a little under level at this point because I kept like switching my team around. But we get here and we like battle 3 trainers. And does the sorting happen before or after the battles? I want to say it's after the battles, right?
It's after.
Okay, that's what I thought. So we go in and we battle 3 trainers. The first one is Kyoko Sawaki, who has a Carvana Timber and Tynamo. How did this battle go for you two? I mean, I assume Kumino just obliterated everything.
Yes. I essentially obliterated everything because I mean, like I was leveled pretty good. But my team that I used for it was for this battle was Lucario, Trico, and Galarian Slowpoke.
Okay. What about you, Jeff? How did you do against Keioku?
I did pretty well. I think I was either at that level of Pokemon that theirs were, or a little bit higher.
Okay.
Dude, my Fennekin, or however you say it, destroyed a lot of other Pokemon, which was very fun. Patrick did good. Surprisingly, he's like, whenever I base a character, like give his name to a character that I'm playing, he's really freaking good. Not to say anything bad about my son, but like it's just really cool.
But if you know Patrick.
If you know Patrick.
Just kidding. The best is we complete side tangent here. We were playing a co-op play of a game called War Tales, which is just a turn-based tactics game, and the characters you can recruit come with like negative and positive traits, and one of them, the guy was like slow, and it made his move speed, like the distance he could move, like very short. But he could hit like a truck. And before Jeff looked at these traits, he named him Patrick. So like he's always is like the
well,
big...
he was not only not only slow, but he was also stupid.
Yes,
I think.
There was a trait of like dumb or something in it.
Dude had like big crit energy, like no other. Like
yeah, he was like one-shotting things, but he could only move
arrow.
like 2 inches.
Awesome.
And
that's my goal. That's my goal in this. Like everything I play, I want to crit the heck out of everything if I can.
Crits are a thing in Pokemon.
They are, and I've gotten some. Not like anything we've ever done before, but it's happening.
Nice.
Yeah, I did all right this
Nice.
first round.
So Carvana and Sharpedo are a line that I just want to use someday. I don't think they're like great, but I like water dark typing, and it's a giant shark, which is really, really cool. So battle against Keioku, I did all right. The next opponent was Suku Shinobu, and they had a Spoopa, a Sawaddle, and a Nincada. At this point, Picky Peck was just like carrying my team, like did great against Timber in the previous battle. It learned Rock Smash, or it was Rock Smash.
It's Rock Smash, yeah.
Which I'm like, why do you know Rock Smash? But I was glad because it ended up helping, and it covers your rock weakness there if you can outspeed. Right. But yeah, Picky Peck just obliterated this trainer, and then Oshawott came in for the Nincada, and then the third trainer battle is actually against Akane, and she has a Fletchling, a Togepi, and her Darumaka. And again, battles went fine. I didn't, there was no extreme difficulty here. After these battles take place, Keioku ends up getting sorted to the Akuai clan, which is the dark typing, it looks like. Akane gets sorted to the Fire clan. The third one, I'm assuming, the Fire clan is Nensho. I'm assuming the third one is the Grass clan. And then it gets to you, and wouldn't you know, we don't have any affinity.
None. We are the Avatar.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I guess you just have to go home. Game over.
Yep. We're saving the world for you.
Yeah. So honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. So I wasn't like taken aback by that, but I also was not really surprised by that. Um, However, after this happens, the Akui clan, they break in, and when this happens, your character, you emit this light, you start to glow.
Right, you turn
And
Super Saiyan.
yeah, exactly. And the Shogun's like, "Hey, take these great balls and catch their Pokemon." And I'm like, "What?"
What?
Right, so now we're thieves.
Yeah. So again, I don't know if this ties into like the GameCube Shadow Pokemon mechanic or not. So to me, this was like, what are you talking about? I have to steal these people's Pokemon now? Is that a Coliseum thing?
Okay, so the way that they did it for Coliseum and XD Guild of Darkness was they had a machine called a snag machine that you wear on your arm, and it allows you to, I guess, transfigure the ball in a way to where you can catch other people's Pokemon. But
Mm.
for the sake of the game, they just let you catch the shadow Pokemon.
Mm.
So I like the fact that this one, the way that they did it by saying like, oh, the power that you have, like your father, and this sword, you're able to not only catch the Pokemon, but you can purify them.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was so dope.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. What did you think? Again, Jeff, not knowing anything about this, like, what was going through your mind at this point? Anything?
Well,
Did it
we
stick
fought
out?
we fought these two before,
We did.
Yes.
so they knew us.
Mhm.
I think I wiped the floor with them, honestly. Like it was not challenging at all. And I caught the Nickit or the whatever
Nice,
it's
nice.
called.
Yep. That was it. That was it.
Who's really cool. A fox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, by this point my team is full.
Nice. Shout out to Jared in season 2. Ended up running a Nickit Thievul on his team and fell in love with it. Apparently, it's like one of the fastest Pokemon. So enjoy that insane speed stat, which
will.
lets you attack first. So during the battle,
22. That's
well,
its speed.
oh yeah, that's pretty decent. So during the battle, the katana transforms into the katana of light, and we learn from the Shogun afterwards that we can now use the katana of light to heal our Pokemon outside of battle. Super cool. Not having to find that bathhouse all the time.
But
And
I might still go to just because it's cool.
true. Always gonna visit the bathhouse when I'm in town. It also replaces Flash, which is nice. So Jeff, you can go back to that cave and not be in darkness
That's the
anymore.
first thing I thought of when I read it.
And then, like Kumino said, and we talked about, thanks to the Shogun, we can capture or steal. But I won't use the word steal because we're not thieves; we're heroes.
We're purifying them.
That's right.
We're the Robin Hoods of the Pokemon world.
Exactly. We can now capture the shadow Pokemon with the hopes to then purify them.
It's just the shadow Pokemon, correct?
I believe so.
Because that's what I got from that.
I'm surprised you didn't try and then ended up catching like all of their Pokemon like you did with Surf. Just like, oh yeah, why not? So after we beat the Grunt, Mashiro Nato, the senior Kenshi of the Akui clan. How are we saying the clan's name? Just so I can be consistent. How should we say
Which
it?
clan?
The one that I can't say the name of. The Shadow Clan. The
Oh, you saying it
villainous
right?
Akui.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has like this totally rad nickname that he gives himself, the Hound of Disrespect. I'm like, okay, that's kind of a little over the top, but I can get behind that. But this dude is, I guess, extremely disrespectful because he just turns like everyone's Pokemon into Shadow Pokemon, including Akane's Darumaka, which, you know, as much as I don't like those Pokemon, I don't like to see my friend who may or may not be my friend because she hates bug Pokemon. Her starting Pokemon did get stolen from her, which is quite sad. And Sekiro, the sensei, he's like, yo, this clan caused some damage out here outside in the town. And during this, he finds out that we actually ran into Celebi. We have our father's katana, and the sensei, he's just like, you know what? You were chosen by Celebi to go save your father. He was last sent out to Yami Island to investigate this clan. Like, it's your destiny. You gotta go. And there you go.
Yep.
And Finn, chapter 1 complete. So Kumino, thoughts on chapter 1 as a whole?
It was a great introduction. I love the twist of not having affinity. So it means that we're able to more than likely use all of the typings in some shape, form, or fashion. I get, I guess it runs in the family because our father is the royal Kenshi.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be like him. But like my only critique of it would be, why wasn't we beat up by the dark type guy that showed up? Like I feel like that would have been extra, would have gave me more motivation.
The Mashiro guy, the leader. Yeah, that's true. He just comes in and like spouts his rhetoric and then steals turns a bunch of Pokemon into Shadow Pokemon and pieces out.
Right.
He should have laid the smackdown for sure.
Right. Yeah. He should have had like a team of level 60 Pokemon. just
just an impossible battle, and then as you're incapacitated, he's like, ha ha ha, turn all these Pokemon Shadow Pokemon and then pieces out. That would be deserving of his name, Hound of Disrespect, for sure.
Yes, truly it would have.
Jeff, what did you think of chapter 1, and how is your first Pokemon experience treating you?
So I really enjoyed chapter 1. Honestly, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it going into it. I mean, I liked the initial thought of it being samurai, but I also wasn't like expecting the Pokemon running around with katanas, although that'd be kind of cool.
This is Pal World, dude. Okay.
With quick side note, they turned me down for the beta testing for that.
Well, you know what? Screw them.
Right.
I hate to see it.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. No, it was a good first experience, I would say. Like I said in the beginning, it's birthing something in my heart.
Yeah. What do you think the cause of that? Like, what's the draw so far?
I think the immersion in the story and like the attention to detail that they took and the heart they put into it is pretty evident. I don't know. Maybe it just something clicked. It's hard to like put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Exact, but it's something special.
Would you say it's more so that stuff over the Pokemon part of it, or is the catching different Pokemon you're running into, like, is that stuff also part of the hook, or
I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I just have a different like attitude towards it coming into this, and it's not because I have to play it. It's it's I don't know. There's just something about it. It's drawing me in.
Good
as a whole.
I'm glad to hear that, because I wasn't when you said you would jump in and do this with me. I was obviously excited because I like doing stuff with you, but then I was like, I wonder if he's actually going to enjoy this. So I'm glad you are.
I am.
That makes me very happy. So with chapter 1 coming to a close, I pretty much would echo what both of you guys are saying. I think the thing that sticks out the most by far is the attention to detail with the world building they've done, and the small changes that maybe a lot of people wouldn't really care much about, but like changing the names of TMs and healing items and all that stuff. The way that the Poke Centers and Poke Marts are just like seamlessly blended into the aesthetic of the society and culture is super super cool. That does a lot for me, because it would be pretty jarring, like having the feudal Japan
With
time
the
period, but then
Poke
seeing
Mart.
like a regular Poke Center, and
Right.
like, okay, why do we all of a sudden just have this machine in here that we just plop our yeah. Um, so that is a big part, a big plus for me. The Pokemon selection so far in the opening chapter, I wouldn't say it's like incredible, but I also wouldn't say that it's lackluster. I mean, we already have Lucario. We, I think Toxel is a really cool Pokemon that you don't see very often. The fact that it's in one of the opening routes, um, you know, I'm blanking. Pancham. There you go. That was the one.
Yeah,
Another cool.
Cutie Fly, Ralts,
Yeah.
um, Hapini, Eevee
Eevee.
on the first route.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And then it's actually in that shop, you can actually buy stones.
mhm,
So that means you can evolve Eevee
right away.
as soon as you want to. Yeah, you got the
Wow.
Miso suit to go friendship to get Umbreon, Espeon, and Sylveon, and you got the stones for all of the other evolutions. So
Right
yeah,
there.
I think they did good with the amount of Pokemon that they put out in the wild for you to be able to catch and build your team up.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do team recaps here real quick before we wrap up. I'm firing up the game right now so I can see what levels my team ended up on. Yeah, Dad, why don't you start us off with a little recap of Team Dad?
Okay. So, Team Dad, I've got a level 18 Braixen.
Okay.
I've got a level 15 Pichu,
Nice, nice.
a level 16 Patrick Panchan, a level 15 Trumbeak, and a level 14 Eevee. And then the Nickit is a level 15.
Nice, nice. Kumino, how's your team looking?
Okay, so I had wrote down what the team was. I just didn't write down their levels or none of that. But it's Paul Lucario at level 17, Zoro the Grovile now at level 18, Nami the Purloin at level 14, Leo the Cutie Fly at level 16, Krieg the Galarian Slowpoke at level 15, and Southbird the Trumbeak at level 15.
Nice, nice. So I opened up the game and I'm in the bathhouse and the music is just like so awesome right now. Yeah, so like I said, ended up switching quite a bit through this. I'm not used to having so many options for my team with PokéBoys, so it's been quite nice. But I ended the run with a level 11 routes named Kenji. I'm hoping so my hope is with this routes that I can get a Gallade In season 2, I went with the typical Gardevoir, but I would really like, psychic fighting, or is it fairy fighting? Which
It's psychic fighting.
psychic fighting? Yeah, that would be awesome, and it just fits, fits the game. Gallade, I don't know. My level 14 Oshawott named Ghost Jin, a level 12 Pancham named Bartu. I left Tyrogue on the team. He's level 13 and named Amura. I have a level 14 Toxel named Gyozin, and then a level 15 Litleo named Nala. I'm really excited about Litleo. Like, it's fire normal, which I hate normal, but like, I don't know. It's been pretty cool. Like, it's so cute, and I'm excited for this Pyroar.
Pyro is actually pretty good, so maybe it'll change your opinion somewhat of the normal type.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the abilities here. Jin doesn't have anything special. It's your standard moveset, standard ability for a starter. Kenshi, my routes, has synchronize, which is awesome. So
Right, that's really good. Really
passes,
good.
your status effects like burn, poison, paralysis to your enemy. And it's cool that it knew a fairy move right away. So it knows hypnosis, disarming voice, confusion, double team, which is nice. My Pancham Bartu has Iron Fist, which boosts power of punching moves, which is pretty nice. It's got tackle, circle throw, arm thrust, and taunt. Tyrogue has guts. It's whatever. It's IVs right now. So the Tyrogue evolutions, is it based off of just the stats or the IVs?
Just a stat.
Okay. It's got 30 defense IV and a 29 special defense IV, which is pretty nice, pretty beefy boy. But its moveset absolutely blows. Like, it is a pain to use this Tyrogue. But I think I might do it because I want all of the like fighting types for some reason. This game makes me want to use fighting types. Nala knows, my Litleo knows rivalry, deals more damage to the foe of the same gender. High defense and special defense IVs, which again, I got some tanky boys and girls. My Toxel knows the ability Rattled, which I've never used before, but some move types scare it and boost its speed, which is nice. Not that it needs it because it has perfect speed. But it knows Nuzzle for its electric move and Acid for its poison move, which nothing too crazy, but enjoying that. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that Nuzzle is going to definitely help with catching other Pokemon.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up here episode 1. Unless you guys have any closing remarks you want to make. If not, we'll be done.
You know what? To go back real quick, that
Yeah.
battle with a cane in the tournament. Listen, I get it. She's our rival, and she's like, she has to go all out against us. But all of the stuff that she did to set up, that was very disrespectful. She should have the nickname of most disrespectful.
Hound of disrespect.
Right.
Yes.
Because I was like it just kept going and going and going. I was like, why are you doing all this? Like Jesus Christ, girl. I thought she was gonna beat me down.
Last thing. Are you guys using the experience share?
Yes.
I'm assuming Jeff is, because it's just on unless you turn it off. I turned mine off. I'm a masochist. I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out. Episode 1. Make sure you subscribe here. Join the Discord. We have a nice little section for PokéBoys where we, really go in on our conversations, all things Pokemon and season related. If you want to let us know how your first chapter of Pokemon Bushido went, please leave a comment here on the video. It'd really help us out getting the algorithm and all that. Really looking forward to hearing your guys' adventures here. And I'm really excited to be releasing these episodes, while we're actually playing it, unlike we did seasons 1 and 2, so we can, interject some of your guys' experiences in the episodes. So please share your stories with us, and we'll make sure we talk about them. Go check out Kumino. Let them know your handles and stuff, please, sir, so they can go follow you.
You can check me out over on Twitch when I'm actually live at this Kumino the Don. You can check me out you can follow me on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X now as it's called.
Get it right. Come on.
At Don Kumino.
That's right. And we'll put links in the episode description for you guys. Dad, do you want to say anything before we leave?
My camera is glitchy.
Yeah, I've been noticing that. I've been looking and I was like, is everything okay over there?
No, not everything's okay. I look like a bad Chinese movie right now.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll see you guys next time for chapter 2 of Pokemon Bushido.
Peace out, everybody.